Today I'm joined by Jovis Leigh Howieson, founder of Urban Photographers Club, a group dedicated to street, documentary, travel, portrait, architecture photography and giving those photographers a platform. Thank you so much, Jovis, for joining me.
Oh, thank you for having me.
So can you tell us a little bit more about yourself and how you got into photography?
Yes, well, I'm originally from Singapore and I started photography about 5 years ago. I heard the term street photography and it sort of piqued my interest and I was wondering what it was all about. Walked into a camera store, said to the retail assistant, I want to be a street photographer. Could you please sell me a camera? And they all laughed at me and they took me around the store and showed me different brands and the different ranges of cameras, and that's how it started in a store actually. And that's how it really started as a street photographer. So it's a hobby. I'm not a professional, and I just do it as a hobby because it for the love of it really.
Yeah.
And yes.
So how long ago was that now?
Oh, that was 5 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So how did the idea of Urban Photographers Club, or UPC, come about?
It actually started because of the group of photographers that I was hanging out with, and they were all my friends. And it started during the pandemic, actually, when all of us were confined and we didn't have a way of keeping in touch. We didn't have a way of shooting. And I came up with the idea of keeping in touch online by sharing our work and giving each other critique, reading photography books and sharing the books that we have and reviewing them and offering our thoughts and opinion on photo books. And also I thought that we could use our little time to go out to shoot and keep us shooting that way during lockdown. And I started to organize weekly critique sessions, weekly sessions online to sort of see what everybody was shooting, so that it gave everybody that continuous motivation and continuous opportunity to keep photographing. And that's how it started. It started online during the pandemic.
Wow.
Yes, and actually, so I was looking for resources online and I was thinking, I'm not a teacher, I don't know anything about photography. What am I going to ask them to shoot? And so I took inspiration from books and online articles and sort of briefs and assignments. And I promised my group of friends, there were 10 of us, and I promised them that I would make a little book and I would put on an exhibition for them. But word got out and other people started to hear about it. And in the end, I had about 400 people internationally shooting with us over 12 months.
Yeah.
And yes, and so I thought that would be the end of it. But people said I had to keep going and there seemed to be a demand for it. And so I continued going.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes.
It must have been really hard, like starting during lockdown.
It was.
With those 10 people and
It was.
like keeping on top of it and keep communicating and everything. So it was a really hard time for everyone.
It was a very hard time for everyone. That's why this kind of kept everybody going.
Yeah.
And no one had anything to do. So they were eagerly waiting online for me.
Yeah. What better way to spend your one walk a day going out and taking photos? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But everyone was so committed. Everyone was dedicated. It gave them a purpose during lockdown because I think we all kind of lost our sense of self in a way. Our lives had just taken a drastic turn, and this kept us sane. This kept our mental health good. This also kept us connected with one another, and our love for photography didn't waver. So it was, constant and continuous, which was good for everybody.
Yeah. So it started off with 10 people, slowly grew throughout 2020 to 400.
Yes.
Now we're in 2024. How many members do you think you have now?
So that was for that particular project. Then we were on Facebook. So we started the community on Facebook, and on Facebook we had a couple of thousand. But I made the decision to move to Discord.
Okay.
And I lost loads of people, but that's good because it kind of filtered out the ones that weren't really interested, and you had you get a more quality group of people. So I've got about 500 in Discord at the moment, but I'd say there's about another 100 that are not on the online community, but they join us in-person events because they just don't like being on social media. So I'd say
Yeah.
there's about 600 in the community
Okay.
at the moment.
Amazing.
Yes.
And so is it still you just running the group solo, or do you have other people
I
involved?
have a little team, and it's made up of Adam and Nomi, who are based in London, and Ryan, based in Orlando.
Oh wow.
Yes, Orlando, USA.
Yeah.
So he helps us from there,
Yeah.
and he's come over once, and the team here, they help me with everything, so which is really, really great and really helpful.
Yeah. So all of the
Yes.
members, they're not all based in the UK, they're all
No,
international as
they're
well.
all international,
Yeah.
but they make an effort to come to London,
Oh,
or
nice.
we meet up in our different cities,
Yeah.
and we tend to travel around Europe and in different cities every month for a photo walk or a photo trip. So there's always opportunity for people to come and meet us,
Yeah. So
or
what?
for us to go
So
to them.
yeah, and other activities then. So you do a lot of photo walks in London, around the UK,
Europe,
and abroad.
yes.
So other than those, what other activities do you do?
We have a monthly book club. So the members choose a book and we go out and buy them, and we have a month to read and review. And sometimes we are lucky, we get the authors themselves and we invite them to come along to our review session, and they get an honest, I guess they get an honest session about what we think of their work and their writing and their book and the quality of their book. And they love it. They love it because they don't get these sessions, and it's, and it's something that is completely unscripted. We just say what everything's very candid. Everyone just says what they think, and I think it's beneficial for the photographer to actually hear what their fans are truthfully saying and thinking about their work, and getting that one-on-one time with the fans. So I think it's beneficial. And so the group really, really love the photo book, because I think, like most photographers, we start buying a photo book and we don't stop. And so we're putting our books to good use by sharing them with each other and actually reading and reviewing them every month.
It makes you actually think about what the
It
content
does.
of the book
It
is,
does.
rather than just skimming through and
It does.
everything. Yeah.
And it really develops our intellectual perception, our intellectual sort of ability on how we see photography. So it really educates us, it motivates us, inspires us. It really teaches us a lot about photography. So it's not necessarily going out to shoot, but reading and really looking at work and reading a photograph. It has really helped us to progress much faster, I think, doing what we do, than just going out to shoot on our own.
And what authors have you had as part of the book?
Oh, we've had Stephen Leslie, we've had David Gibson, Sean Tucker, Doogie Wallace.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Put you on the spot now.
We've had a few more that I can't remember who else we've got.
Yeah.
A few,
But
yes.
lots of, I mean, every month you must have.
Yes, every month.
Yeah.
Every month.
Someone different.
Yes,
Wow,
someone
that's so
different every
exciting.
month.
Yeah.
And so everyone's been so gracious, and all these big names, they've been so good to us and to me. So I'm really grateful for that.
Yeah. And so what other highlights have you had from the club running it? Is it a particular event or
Yes.
anything that...
So we were very lucky after the project in lockdown. I managed to get a space at Fujifilm House of Photography to host the exhibition.
Yeah.
And we were there for 2 months in August and September of 2022. And that was a major highlight. So that was based on that particular project that we did. And there were about 40 photographers that were exhibited, plus a secondary school. Actually, they were year 12 photography students that I had also invited along to take part in the project, and I took them out and I showed them how to do street photography, and they had their own wall exhibited as well.
Amazing.
And which gave them a taste of what it would be like to be a photographer when they grow up.
Yeah. Oh,
Yes.
that's just reminded me that was the very first time I met you.
Oh yes, yes, at the
Yeah.
exhibition.
Yep.
Yes.
And my introduction to UPC, and I'm now a proud member of
Oh,
the
yes.
club.
Thank you. Yes.
And I can safely say that what you've done with the group and everyone involved, like that, it's just absolutely amazing and great to be a part of.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So if anyone wants to join the club,
Yes.
how can they do that?
They can follow us on Instagram.
Yep.
And they can join us online in our community on Discord. Otherwise, they could just turn up at our events, or they could go to our website as well.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
and we'll put all of those in the
Yes.
in the description below.
Yes.
So moving forward, then, what does the future look like for the club? Have you got any plans?
Yes.
Lots of events coming up, I imagine.
Yes. So I would like to make another book,
Yep.
host another exhibition, do more overseas trips, perhaps to the States and to Asia next year. That would be the plan.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Yes, and I would think more in-person events. Along with book club, we also do like photo books meetup in person monthly.
Okay.
And we do critique sessions as well. And we do women-only events as well. And we kind of perhaps visit exhibitions together. And there's like a Lee Miller film coming out.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
all of us are really excited. We're all going to the movies together.
Yeah. Love that.
Yeah, so things like that. And we're going to go visit her house
Oh, nice.
down
yeah.
in West Sussex, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, yes, many more in-person events. Anything that we can think of, we will do. But we get a lot of feedback from our members, and our members drive us in the direction that UPC takes. And Urban Photographers Club is really about the members. It's really about the people. At the heart of it, it's about what the people want. It's about the photographers. It really is about them. Because without them, we wouldn't have a community. And they tell me what they want. They tell me what to do. They tell me, you know, what would work for them and what would be interesting for them. And I take all that feedback on board and I move in that direction wherever possible.
Yeah.
And as long as there is a demand for the club, as long as the members are interested, we will always be around for them. Yes.
Yeah, amazing. And so, joining a photography community then, why is it important for you? Why is that a important concept?
I think because we can tap into the strengths of everybody, of their skills, their experience, and what they are able to bring to another person.
Yeah.
And that sense of sharing the love of photography and being in an environment that is safe, that is nurturing, that is supportive, that is unbiased, and really welcoming, I think, you know, it's really important for me. And I've only been around for about 5 years, and everything is still very new to me. And I think seeing what I've seen over the last 5 years with amateurs and professionals, having a community really does bring out more of the art itself in photography, because I think photography might be seen as maybe only the professionals could do it, and everybody else, oh, you know, okay, you know, we could shoot, but we kind of didn't know where to go, who to share it with, who to talk to about photography, because the professionals were all in industry. You couldn't really go talk to a professional about your work, and everybody was, you know, not easily accessible. So having a community provides that environment and the access to be able to discuss photography, peer-to-peer discussion, and honest, because no one's going to hold back with what they think. Honest, respectful, and similar mindset and values, I think, is important in the community.
Yeah, 100%. And I've seen that both online and in person
Yes.
in the
Yes.
club, where people can openly talk about kit, they can ask questions, they can talk about what events they're going to, ask for recommendations, things like that.
Correct.
And it's a real learning experience, as well as, you know, feeling like you're helping someone else at the same time
Absolutely.
on their journey.
Absolutely. And everyone is helping each other in the community, whether they know it or not, because there's always someone there to answer a question, someone you can reach out with, someone you can go out shooting with.
Yeah.
And it's very social.
Yeah.
Especially being in a community. I think the social aspect is quite a major factor for everybody.
Yeah.
They love seeing everybody.
Yeah. We went on a recent
Yes,
photo walk, didn't
we
we?
did.
And everyone was just talking to each other, as well as shooting when they could.
Absolutely.
But I noticed
Absolutely.
that everyone was always talking and always asking questions, and
Absolutely.
that's really nice. To be able
Absolutely.
to have that chance.
Absolutely. And you gain instant friends. You join
Yeah.
a community, you've got 400 new friends.
Yeah. And everyone is so different, with different backgrounds, different ages.
Absolutely.
And yeah, there's no, what word do I want to use? There's no
Barrier.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, there's no barrier. And
Yes.
you know, someone that's just got into photography could be talking to someone that's been doing it for 20 years, and there's no judgment.
Absolutely. No judgment, absolutely. And like I say, I think a community attracts a certain kind of photographer to a specific kind of community. And I think what's important is setting the culture of that community and the values of that community, because then you attract similar sorts of people within the community. And that's when people get comfortable and people don't feel afraid to approach or ask a question. And having that shared sense of belief and a common sort of set of behaviors and values, I think also makes the community really, really important, because it's very difficult to run a community if there's conflict. And so I think, from day one, setting that sort of tone, and that tone filters out through all the members, and all the members, they tend to attract similar kind of members to the group as well, which then really becomes about them again. It really is about them and their community. So I think that's been something really important, I've noticed, to have a community or to be in a community, because you don't want to join something and not feel comfortable in it. So I think for me, that's been, a major factor as well.
Yeah. The group's called Urban Photographers Club.
Yes.
Was there a reason behind that? Because it's not specifically street photography.
No.
Photographers in the group cover
Yes.
quite a lot
We
of
do
genres.
landscape, portraits, architecture, food, music. Well, the word urban was decided in 5 minutes because we were desperate to have a name for this exhibition and the group.
Right, yeah.
And so we had to think of something, and urban kind of maybe covered everything because we were in an urban environment, and we didn't want to just call it street photography because it wasn't just about street. And we sort of thought, okay, urban could be a blanket term and it could apply to anything. We're urban photographers. We're in an urban environment.
Yeah.
The kind of work we do is all part of urban life today. But we kind of, it's very stretchy.
Yeah.
You can stretch the word.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
That's really interesting.
Yes, really. Yes.
No, it works well. It does work well. Okay, well, thank you so much for having this chat with me, and it's been really interesting to see how you've developed over the last few years, and I'm really excited to see what happens in the future. And as a very proud member, as I mentioned, I will be on that journey with you. So thank you so much. Are you a member of a photography community? Let us know which one in the comments below. If you like this video, give us a big thumbs up and subscribe so you see more from us. We'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.